Hello everybody, my name is VS Lightning or Doom VS here. I'm doing a commentary over one of B-Tran's videos today. It's a 55 gun streak with the Maverick, with the new DLC gun. I'm sure you guys know all about it by now. It's been out for a little bit, but this is a pretty good game. It's on Whiteout, a map that I don't think is all that good for going for gameplays on, but he seemed to do alright with it. So if you enjoyed the gameplay, be sure to check his channel out. The link will be in the description for more amazing gameplays such as this. And if you enjoy the commentary, of course, you can check out my channel as well. But what I'd like to talk about today is what each Call of Duty brought to the table in particular. I think each game had some good stuff that it brought forth. Some things I think better than others that really helped the series along. Of course, each had their flaws, but I'm not going to talk about that in this commentary. I'm going to start with Modern Warfare 1, or Call of Duty 4 as most people refer to it as, and just work our way all the way up to Ghosts. So in COD 4, I didn't really play this too much in the prime time. I might have done it a little bit, but I didn't really get into Call of Duty until MW2. However, COD 4 is pretty much thought of as the base for online multiplayer first-person shooters. I know a lot of people enjoyed this game in its prime time, and it really just set the foundation for the future Call of Duties to come out. It was the first that we see in perks and kill streaks in Call of Duty, and even though it only had the 3 kill streaks, which were the UAV, the airstrike, and the attack helicopter, I believe, it again set the foundation for the future games to bring even more kill streaks in and kind of expand through that. And that's really what Call of Duty 4 brought to the table. It was just the base for the future Call of Duties. World at War didn't bring too much to multiplayer, but it did have zombies, which is a gigantic thing in Call of Duty now. I personally only bought the map packs in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 strictly for the zombies maps. But when it comes to multiplayer, it didn't really have anything new aside from tanks in a game mode called War. That's the only one that I remember that was new to Call of Duty, and both of those aren't in any of the other Call of Duties. Modern Warfare 2, I believe, is, in my opinion, the biggest asset to Call of Duty. It brought a lot of new things. It brought more perks and more kill streaks, most specifically the nuke, which I think really helped Call of Duty. Not so much the Treyarch games because they didn't bring any kill streaks like that forward. They had the nuclear in Black Ops 2, but that doesn't really count. It wasn't much of a kill streak, and all that it gave you was a medal that popped up. But the nuke really set the way for the Moab and the Chemstrike, both of which I'll talk about in their respective games, but the nuke was just the best thing to go for in Modern Warfare 2, especially with all the extra perks that they added in. The only unfortunate thing was one-man army and danger close, which wasn't really that bad during the game's prime time, but after Black Ops 1 came out, a lot of people just started playing like that. Quickscoping also, I believe, started mostly in Modern Warfare 2. It really took off. I know a couple people did it in Call of Duty 4, and that's probably where it started, but Modern Warfare 2 is really known for its quickscoping, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I'm kind of neutral on that. It set a lot of people's channels off, like FaZe and all the people in FaZe and the other trick shotting clans and quickscoping and stuff like that. But the nuke is the biggest thing in MW2, in my opinion, that they brought forward. Infinity Ward really seems to be bringing the most to the table at this point. But moving on to Black Ops 1, the only thing that I could really think of that was new about this game were the sniping mechanics, how you had to scope in to actually be able to get a kill. It made quickscoping a little bit harder, not impossible, but more difficult. And theater, I think, was the biggest thing. It brought theater, which sadly is no longer in Ghosts, and I don't know if it's going to be in the next Call of Duty. But when this was around, it was really nice. I know a lot of people used it to record like the 30-second clips in Black Ops 1 and help save games in Modern Warfare 3, as well as Black Ops 2, but that's really all I can think about when it comes to multiplayer. I know it brought some other stuff to zombies, but I'm trying to focus mostly on stuff that the game's brought to multiplayer. So moving on into MW3, I think this game had quite a bit that it brought as well. Most specifically Specialist, I think this was a very good idea on Infinity Ward's part. It's something I don't think anybody else really thought of before as a strike package, and it really took off when it came out. Some people were skeptical at first when they heard about it and the game wasn't released yet, but I know a lot of people primarily ran that, mostly for the Moab, which is another thing that this game brought. The Moab is a lot like the nuke for those of you guys who haven't played these older Call of Duties and are starting in Ghost just now. The Moab is pretty much the Chemstrike in MW3. It's a 25 gun streak, or 24 if you're using hardline, of course. But it's a little bit different than the nuke because in MW2, your kill streaks would stack. For instance, you could get the Harriers, which all the kills from that would count up to your next kill streak, which was generally the AC-130 or the Chopper Gunner, and then you could use the Chopper Gunner or the AC-130 to get your nuke. So that was something a little bit different that Infinity Ward brought with MW3, was that you had to get all gun kills in this game, which made it more challenging. And the Moab also didn't end the game like the nuke did. I always thought it'd be cool if they brought a game mode forward where a chem strike or a Moab would end the game, just to kind of give that MW2 feel, but I don't really think that's ever going to happen. MW3, of course, had more death streaks as well, but a lot of people don't like those, so I'm not even going to get into those. So having said that, let's move on into Black Ops 2. I believe the biggest thing that this game brought to the Call of Duty franchise was the competitive support that this game had. League play and the tournaments that the people at Treyarch put on in Anaheim and the $1 Million Tournament and all that stuff, it really kicked off competitive. And since that competitive has really grown, a lot of people have said that this game was meant for competitive, even though I don't think that's entirely accurate, but it brought things like Hardpoint, which was a very big competitive game mode. I'm not sure why Ghost didn't bring that back. Maybe the map size, it probably would have had some issues with that. But competitive is really big now. It's a huge thing. I think it might even be bigger than pubs. The tournaments were pulling like 60,000, 70,000, I think even up to maybe 90,000 viewers when they were doing some of the tournaments. So Black Ops 2 really helped kick off that. And finally on to Ghost, which I only have a few things to talk about. But the only thing I think this game really brought that was new to the Call of Duty franchise were the hybrid servers. A lot of people thought that they were dedicated servers before the game came out. But being hybrid servers are only partially dedicated and partially P2P. I believe if they were full undedicated servers, this game would play a lot better. But it is what it is. And that's pretty much it for the commentary. So please like the video to support the Doom Clan. Be sure to check out B-Tran's channel again, as I mentioned. His link will be in the description. And I will catch you all in my next commentary here on the Doom Clan channel.